Hello and welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes. He is Stephen Hill, looking out at what really appears to be a fake background, but
I will go jump. I'm going to jump in the pool in the end to prove that it's not.
no, do
How's
it
that?
right now. Please
No,
do
I
it.
wouldn't do that.
Please.
No, I don't have it. I'm not wearing anything below this shirt, so that's probably not a good idea.
Oh, you are on honeymoon. Okay.
I'm in
All
the
right. Okay.
vacation. Yeah, honeymoon. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. All right. I would say how you doing, but I see how you doing and how you
I'm doing
do it.
great. I'm doing great, Sybil. We Merry belated to my beloved. We had a great celebration with some
You're
friends of
not
ours.
just saying belated birthday to her.
I'm
That's
not.
the instruction you're giving us, right?
No. I'm
Because
saying
you do not forget those things.
no. But we haven't talked about it on this fine program. I just want to say we've had a great celebration of my beloved's birthday. And she's now not here, but it's a longer story. But I'm actually here by myself right now. But we're fine. We're fine. Okay. The short version of the story is, Sybil, is that we had our friends down here, and then we had a couple of days by ourselves, and then Shante was always supposed to go back, and my brother was going to come here, and my brother and I were going to hang out together for the first time in our adult lives without family option.
Wow.
And unfortunately, there was an unfortunate medical emergency in his on his with his wife's family, and he couldn't come down. We'd already gotten the place, so I'm here for the next 2 days till tomorrow.
Oh wow,
it was a long way to put it.
Yeah, that's a lot of story, but
we wish Paul the best. We wish Paul the best. Paul, get well soon.
Okay, very good, Paul. Whoever you.
How are you doing, Sybil?
I'm great. I'm great. You can't see it by my background because I still got my Christmas stuff up. But today it was almost 80 degrees in Fort Worth, Texas.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was really nice. And I got outside. I didn't go far, but I got outside because I had work to do and stuff. So, but it's just a simply beautiful day. I didn't even mind going out to bring my cans in, if you'll pardon the expression. But my neighbor beat me to that. So, but it's just to sit outside and try to do some work there. It was absolutely beautiful. So, yeah.
Don't you hate it when your neighbor beats you to your cans?
Yeah, and quite often. So. Yes, she does.
This just got more interesting.
No, really.
Go on a
trust and
Wednesday.
Believe. Not really interesting at all.
Okay, fine.
So you and I are here. Quinn is off on sabbatical, and Myra J is taking a couple of shows off to take care of herself. So it's you and me.
It's 2:45 somewhere, and no one in the spot except you and me.
Something like that. That is the first song my mother ever taught me.
Really?
Yeah. It's Frank Sinatra song. It's 2:45. There's no one in the place except you and me. So we're drinking, my friends, to the end of a sweet episode. Yeah. I was 3. No little red caboose, none of that. It was a Frank Sinatra song.
Wow. That's something.
Yeah.
And I kind of always wondered, is it 2:45 in the afternoon? 2:45 at night is pretty late.
It's 2:45 a.m. Yep.
Well, in LA, the clubs close at 2, so I'm kind of wondering where they might be around 2:45.
There was no one in the place, so whatever the place was, his house probably, or only a late night spot that would allow Frank Sinatra and guests in.
That's right.
Yeah, so I'm glad that we're here together. I'm really glad you're in your happy place, because that really is. And you said we may be able to see some whales behind you.
Yes, so it's whale season. That is a sailboat, not a whale.
Oh, okay, that's a sailboat.
But every once in a while, you'll see a puff of water coming out, because whales have to come to the surface to expel the air that's in their lungs, then go back down, because they are mammals, and so they do need air to breathe. So they surface rather frequently.
And if I may say, one surfaced in the midst of Stephen and Shantae's wedding, which was a beautiful guest appearance and unexpected. So we're glad you're here. And so we're going to talk about the events, talk about the newsletter, talk about, we have an Express Yourself question, what's really going on and the events of the day. As Stephen Hill says, he is kind of locked off from a lot of the things that are going on today, but maybe we'll be able to enlighten him with some of the things that have happened, as well as talk a little bit of pop culture, a little bit of news culture, and have a lovely afternoon. So
Sybil, lack of knowledge has never prevented me from having an opinion. So
you know what? But here's the thing about your lack of knowledge is so much greater. Your knowledge in your lack of knowledge is so much greater than the rest of us.
My lack of Stephen, your lack of knowledge is so vast.
It's
It's gigantic. It's John Holmes sized. Like, your lack of knowledge is absolutely.
That really took on a whole nother meaning. So let's get started with the What You Need to Know newsletter. This is our Monday through Friday newsletter that we prepare for you. And usually stories that are pertaining to Black folks or have some interest to Black folks. If it's not politics, then it's Black health and Black health matters. It's social justice, LGBTQ plus, or mental health and wellness, Black and Fit. We also have Black and Missing. That is one of our posts for this Wednesday afternoon, as well as the Jewels. And we give you a birthday shout out, which we did last weekend for the lovely Miss Shantae Moore. And you didn't respond to our group text wishing her a happy birthday.
Perhaps I wasn't on it.
Oh, you're on it. Yeah.
Sometimes y'all just be sneaking, taking me off texts.
Because we don't have her number.
Adding to my lack of knowledge all over the world.
No, it was the group. So anyway, as I said, we have some birthday shout outs, if you will, and things like that. And also in Black and Fit, some foods to help lower your cholesterol if that is a concern of yours. So let's get started with young Quinn. In her absence, she's written a story. She's still out there writing, and she writes about another transgender artist they've lost in their community. Her name is Cecilia Gentili. She died a couple of weeks ago in her home in Marine Park section of Brooklyn. Her death was announced by her husband, Peter Scotto. And she was a fierce advocate for transgender people and sex workers, and a legislative lobbyist, author, performer, actress, and a mother, as opposed to a mom or mother.
Mama. She's a mother.
Mother.
Mother. Got to put the V in the right place.
Yeah. She was born in Argentina, left South America for the United States in the year 2000. And she is a woman of an incredible background. She is a survivor of sexual abuse during her childhood, also a survivor of human trafficking. She was unhoused and formerly incarcerated. She was sent to the men's ward at Rikers Island, where she was consistently raped and beaten. And she also survived a heroin addiction. According to the New York Times, she was also a great advocate and lobbied for the passage of the New York State Gender Expression and Discrimination Act, which became law in 2019, and lobbied for the repeal of Walking While Trans ban, and that prohibited loitering for the purpose of prostitution and disproportionately targeted trans women and women of color. She was 52 years old, and I'm very sorry for the loss of Cecilia Gentili to the transgender community, as well as to her family, including her husband. Stephen Hill.
Yes.
One of the things that I do try to encourage the youngins that write for us is to try to write something that is a little not so depressing sometimes and sad, because I think this is true for me, and I found that this week especially, getting down as a result of just bad news. As the song of the Wiz, don't nobody bring me no bad news.
No bad news. Don't nobody bring me no bad news.
Right. And so I encourage them, but this is a story that needs to be told. But it's just sad that, here we have a young woman that died much too young, and but her hopefully her cause and the causes that she fought for will live on, and that there will be others to take this up.
And I'll jump in with another with someone else who passed recently. and it's actually an inspirational story. Idea Broadbent.
I have that. Yes.
Okay. Should I wait?
Yes.
Should I wait?
Yeah.
Should
Wait.
we
Hold
wait?
on to that. Hold on
Okay.
to that.
We'll wait because because while she is no longer with us, the story behind it and what she brought to this world is so inspirational that it's never easy to talk about a death as a positive story. But my gosh,
what an inspiration! Yeah.
That's a tease for later. So we'll talk about it later.
That's what they call in the business. A tease. Yes. One of the other things I talk about in the newsletter, Quinn's big brother Cameron, and talks about Vice President Kamala Harris and her effort to burst the Biden campaign bubble. She's focused on perpetuating what she refers to as the bubble of the president's campaign, where Democratic stakeholders believe their concerns on critical issues fall on deaf ears. And so she's out there during this campaign season, especially, she's talking to young Black men ahead of the primaries, ahead of the election, the general election, obviously, and those that are, in the barbershop and on, a part of organizations and clubs, and feel as though their voices are not being heard. And she's out there, pitching the president, if you will, to young people, especially young Black men, and talking about it. While you've been away, there was a lot of conversation about Charlemagne, and saying that he's not really anxious about voting in this upcoming election. He's not telling people not to vote. In his case, he's just not feeling either candidate, and we've got to get out there and talk about it a little bit more, and give people one or two or three or five or a dozen reasons why they should vote for a candidate. Today is a good example of that. Came down that the president has approved another 150,000 people have been relieved of their student loans.
Yes. I'm not one of them, by the way, but keep going.
Yeah, right. Me either. I
paid my whole thing. Just paid it right on up.
Me too.
And not getting none back. Where's my reparations? Where's my reparations?
But here's my thing. I'm okay. I'm glad that people have had their loans paid off. But I'm okay with the fact that, I paid mine. Well, how come I have to pay mine and nobody's paying? I'm good.
It's a different time and it's much more expensive, and there's all sorts of other factors. So I applaud that.
Yeah. So look up and next time you look around, the vice president could be tapping you on the shoulder saying, "Have you registered to vote yet?" And that is likely to happen, especially in a lot of these states that have are a little purplish in tone. Not the state of Texas, but we still love to have you here. And Pennsylvania, for instance, is one where they could turn in a moment's notice from red to blue and blue to red.
Should we dig into Charlemagne? Should we dig into Charlemagne for a minute, or no? We don't have time.
No, we have time.
Okay, so I just want to understand. I'd love to know if people disagree with Charlemagne, or it's one of those things like, no, don't say that because we could lose because of it. Is it because you disagree with him, or you think that what he's saying is going to have an ultimately negative result? Because those are two separate things.
Right. Yeah.
And so I'd be interested to say, I've seen some folks in the comments talk about, Charlemagne wants to be the center of attention. I'm not sure that's necessarily true. Again, do you disagree? Maybe you disagree with what he says, but I don't think many people do.
I'm wondering
if
he's representing those people. Yeah.
No. I think he's just representing himself and saying like any other.
No, for sure. But I think that he is also representing a quadrant of the population that may feel the way that he does.
Yeah. And I think, if we're going to be honest, a lot of us feel that way.
Yeah, for sure.
But we should still go out there and vote. I have no problem. We should still go out there and vote not Trump. Our vote should go to not Trump. Like, if Biden changed his name to not Trump, I think he has a shot. If you look on the ballot and it said Trump and not Trump, the same way Haley lost to undecided, or what did she lose to?
Right. Yeah. Anybody but.
Yeah. Dude, if you go to Trump and anybody but Trump, if Biden just says my new name is now Joe anybody but Trump,
he's in.
He's got a shot at winning.
As my grandmama used to say, he's in like Flynn.
He's in like Flynn.
Speaking of anybody but the Palestinian American community, the Arab American community, Muslim communities are very angry with the president because of the country's allegiance with Israel. So I will say that I'm pro the people of Israel, but I am not pro Benjamin Netanyahu. He is too right wing, too conservative for me. And I would like for the people who live there to be able to make the decision about living in peace. I don't think that they necessarily want to keep all the fighting going and living in a war torn area and where tens of thousands of Muslim Americans, of Palestinian, not Muslim Americans, of Muslims and Palestinian people are being killed. Um, the war has brought about a lot of difficulties, not only in the country of Israel, not only in the Middle East, but now in the United States with on college campuses and things like that. But Michigan has a very large Arab American population, and they're getting ready to go to the polls next week in Michigan's primary, and their Muslim Arab American Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib is encouraging her community to vote for uncommitted. Uh, in other words, not to vote for President Biden because of his stance in support of Benjamin Netanyahu and Israel.
There is a wonderful, and I wish I could tell you exactly, but if you on Instagram, I've seen it going around. President Carter, a long time ago, talked about the United States' allegiance to Israel. It's not Joe Biden's allegiance to Israel. It is the United States' historical allegiance to Israel. Trump had it. Reagan had it. Bush had it. So this is not. So this. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just something we've had for a moment. Now he'll say something else because it's going to be advantageous for his presidential campaign. But this is a long-standing U.S. policy, which has, in my opinion, after looking at some things, has kind of glossed over some challenges that the government, to your point, that the government, not the people, have had in how they managed the neighbors, right? And so, I it's unfortunate it all comes down on Biden. Like, well, you're supporting Israel. No, this is a long-standing U.S. policy,
U.S.
and he just happens to be president. Absolutely. That said, as I've said on the show before, Netanyahu's not going to quit. He doesn't care what you think about your ceasefire. He really doesn't give a damn. He's playing for 50 years from now. Listen, if you look and see young folks near that border, near the Israel, are being trained to hate their neighbors. It's just true. You look at the textbooks, you look at the teachings. It's just true. So Netanyahu, understanding this, is not going to allow that to happen. And he's going to.
We're going to come back to that in trending because I do need to mention.
Okay, Yolanda.
No, she's enjoying the conversation, but we do need take a look at that article that we did about Rashida Tlaib, and my hope is that the president will, while he's out there campaigning, and should have done this already, had people into the White House, into the Oval Office to talk about making a stand and making people understand, as you say, about the policy. And the longstanding U.S. policy and what that looks like for him and for our country and for the future of the United States. Also, would ask you to take a look at Black and Missing. This is our weekly feature in which we have joined forces with the Black and Missing Foundation to talk about those who are just that, Black and missing. This week, we're talking about Destin Lee Henderson. He is a 39-year-old man. He's been missing since October 24th of last year from Houston, Texas. He's 5 feet 7 inches tall, medium brown skin, and with black hair and short black hair and brown eyes. And he's last seen in his apartment in Houston, Texas, in Harris County. And they've been searching for his vehicle, also a red 2015 Honda Accord with Ohio license plates JHP 3637. Take a look at his picture. If it looks familiar to you, go to the Black and Missing Foundation website and report it and help people get reconnected with their friends and families and loved ones. Okie dokie. All right. So Stephen Hill, we are
Yes.
going to do a make good because last week it was Valentine's Day and we were just having a little fun. Who would you like to be your Valentine? And
Yes. Yes.
it frustrated the hell
Yeah.
out of you because
Well, it didn't frustrate me. It's just like I'm determined since
you
I'm married
just
to the
didn't quite
best
a
woman in the
little
world.
raise your game.
I was not going to mess that up. That's all. And
Right.
we laughed about it. She and I laughed about it. She listened to it. She laughed about it
He's
afterwards.
like, look at me. Look at who I'm married to. You really want me? No, no, that wasn't the purpose of it. But it did bring about a question amongst
Hmm.
female friends. What was it? This is the question. And
Hmm.
this is for all gentlemen. And ladies, if you want to, tune in with what you've heard, we can have that discussion too. But what was it, Stephen Hill, that turned you? I mean, with all the women, and I mean all the women that you have known and loved in your life, what made you decide at this? You know what I mean. You have had exposure to all the stars in the world.
Okay, keep going. I want to see how you're
Okay.
going to get me
Okay.
out of the
So
doghouse that
so
you put
with
me in last week.
what
Okay, let's see where we
was
go.
it that you
Yes.
can share with us
Mhm.
about Shantae that said, I'm going to get married again? That's the one.
Okay. First of all, I need to understand. I need to make sure that we have time for this, so that Yon
Yes.
doesn't cut me
Yes.
off in
This
the
is
middle of
this
it.
is at the top. Right, right, right. And this is
My compliments to the chef. My compliments to the chef. That's
see,
good.
see,
That's good.
she's not just a
That's good.
timekeeper. But also, I mean, you got a lot of single women out there. What is it that, who love and adore you? But what is it about this woman that said, this is it?
So there's the truth. The truth of the answer is there was synchronicity among a lot of elements.
Got it.
One, let's start. Let's start with her. And I'm not sure if she's the first one, but let's start with her. She's an unbelievably smart, talented, charismatic, funny, and the fact that I've known her before I knew her from the 20th century were two. I can't explain to you how important the fact how important sense of humor and someone I knew in the 20th century was to me. That was very important to me. It's also the reason why I thought before I got to Shantae that I would never find I was never going to settle down. I was just not going to be able to do that. But so that's the start. And then she's just a wonderful, solid person. Loyalty is important to her. Family is important to her. We share some of the same values, and then we're completely disparate on other values, but we respect them in each other. So that's the Shantae of it. The other part of it is, and I think women have to understand this, and my good friend Diana Sue Ferguson from Chicago, Illinois, who used to be the treasurer for Sara Lee. Big, like really, like she's on the board of Mattel. She's like on the board of Mattel right now. She's awesome. She once explained it as with women, it's when they find the person they love, they know it. Guys, it's like the time is on a flip.
Spin that wheel.
And they will bypass here's the wonderful one. Oh, here's the one who's perfect for you. Oh, I'm sorry. It's just not. And it has to be just the right time where that wheel stops. And if you're there when that wheel stops, and I got lucky, my wheel stopped when I was ready to settle down and the ideal person came along. Those two things had to happen. I've said this probably here before. 2 years earlier, I would have fumbled Shantae Moore. I know that I would have. I know who I was at the time, and I know how I would have acted, and I would have fumbled Shantae Moore and forever been in that group of the other three stupid people who had done that. Anyhow, not to judge. But so that was it. Those two things, the fact that she's awesome and fantastic, and as she said for her toast for her birthday, like we're by no means perfect, but we're awesome together. And that my wheel had stopped right at the same moment.
So do you think that the pandemic did anything to that? Was that a part of it to make you the person that you were when you guys came together?
It's a great question. I think it did. I was really happy being by myself in the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to be totally honest, like I used the pandemic as a reason to just like, I pretend like Zooms and telephone calls didn't exist really, right? The only thing that really existed for me was my weekly date with Instagram Live playing music. Right. And so I was really quite thrilled with that. That said, had it not been for the pandemic, I don't think Shantae and I would have gotten together. I think it hastened up the point in time when I was ready to like, okay, I just want to, I don't call it settle down. I'm ready to be in a relationship. That's not, I had actually started before the pandemic, if I'm going to be honest, but no one was meeting the funny and known since the 20th century criteria.
Wow. Interesting. So was this someone that was important that you could both say where you were when Biggie and Tupac died?
Wait, say that one more time. What'd you say?
Was it important that you meet someone or be with someone who you could both say where you were when Biggie and Tupac died?
If I'm going to be honest, no.
Okay.
I would have preferred, though it was not a requirement, that they be alive during that time. but those of you who know me, it could be close. Back in the day, it could have been close.
Yeah. But for some of us, having that kind of landmark in our lives, and instead of someone say, they were always dead when I was alive. It's like, Yes.
I can honestly say I never dated anybody who was not alive. Oh, wait. Hold on. I never dated anybody who was not alive when both of them died.
Okay. Yolanda, do we have any comments for Dr. Love?
Somebody who might not have been alive when the Joyner show started, maybe. All right, keep going.
Okay.
All right, keep going.
Okay.
Never mind. Keep going.
Yeah.
That's the point.
And nothing like that. CM Williams on Facebook said, listen, if you find someone that really likes you and vice versa, you better do it. Ain't nothing out here but eye candy. And a lot of people like eye candy.
Yeah, but you can't sustain yourself on eye candy. I get that. I understand the eye candy part, but you can't sustain yourself on eye candy, and you shouldn't.
Well,
did I mention how it happened? Never mind. I'm sorry.
That's a judgment that I'm not sure I'm ready to make for other people. But
I am. You can't sustain a full relationship over a long period of time on just eye candy. I don't believe that. That's
because
no, for the rest of your life. Like I'm assuming this is like Shantae and I are for the rest of my life.
Right.
And so if you'd like to have a dalliance, then eye candy's gonna be fine, and then all of a sudden it won't be, and then you'll break up.
So you and CM are of one accord in that respect, because he said there's nothing out there but eye candy.
Well, yes, except what I tell her all the time is that I lucked out because I got her and eye candy at the same damn time.
Yeah, in one person. That's pretty incredible. Yeah.
Did I mention I'm married to Shantae Moore? Did I mention I'm married to Shantae Moore? Did I mention that?
Do you wake up sometimes and pinch yourself and say,
yes, it's not even a wake up thing. I'll be swimming in that pool and go like, oh shoot, like I'm married to Shantae. Like, yes, I do.
Renita Bland on Facebook said, dating is so hard. I like the old ways of meeting people. With online, people just don't want to commit. They don't want to work on a relationship. Exclamation point. They just swipe for someone else. It is very easy. It's very easy.
It is, but different apps are for different things. And I want to be clear. Let me clear up this whole thing. Like I'd say, like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm married to Shantae Moore. And she's exactly the person that I wanted, and I didn't know that. Right. I want to be clear. It's not just like, oh my God, it's Shantae Moore. It's not. It's that she's the person I want. Second thing is Tinder. You're not getting married off of Tinder.
Right.
I know 3 very, very, very happy couples who got married off of Match. Right.
Oh,
so different apps for different people for different desires.
How about farmersmeat.com?
How are you spelling meat?
Double E. Although I wouldn't be opposed to.
I knew you would like that. I knew you would like that, Sybil. I knew you would like that. The phrasing, the wording, everything. I knew that was.
Have you seen that dating show for farmers though, and city girls that meet with the farmers? It's on
I have
Fox.
not.
Yeah,
No.
they have another season of it coming up. Brenda McCutcheon on Facebook. A relationship is great when you're older because you know what you don't want or need. That's true. That's true.
100%.
Because
And
there used to be a list. You write your pros and you write your cons, or you write your wants and you write your can't live withouts and things like that. And sometimes the list is a little askew, but at this point in you hit a certain point in your life, you're like, this is what I want, not what
yes,
I think I need. This is what
absolutely.
I want.
You understand yourself much better as you get older. I am
Yeah.
62 years old, and I understand myself much better now than I did even when I would say 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely 10 years ago. And don't sweat the small stuff because it's all small stuff.
All
And you just
small
find
stuff.
you got to find somebody who grooves with you to steal
And if
somewhat
you're
from
lucky, it's not always all small stuff. Michael Starworth, our friend, had a comment. Renita Bland, plus it's much easier to hide who you really are. Oh, on those dating apps, right? Yeah. Yeah. Michael, have you had any success with online dating or with the dating apps? I'm just curious of people because Renita has made that declaration now. Teresa Robinson on Facebook. I'm ready to start dating after 5 years, but dating is very different. Not sure how or when you're gonna meet the right person. If there is a right person, there's a right person for everyone. I believe that. I I,
yes,
I really do believe that.
yeah.
And some,
And you can just you'll run into them like if it's meant to be. And by the way, they don't have to be 100. Again, some people look for
yeah,
100% perfection. They let the small thing, like they don't put the cap on the toothpaste, be the reason they don't stay with them.
right,
As
right.
opposed to like when you come to the toothpaste without a cap, put the cap on it yourself.
There you go.
Don't let small stuff get you out the pocket.
Come on, come on. Close the door if and close your drawers, and if they're left open, and pick up stuff, and do whatever you got to do. Don't bitch moan about all the mail and stuff that's left out on the counter. Just saying. I'm sorry, Yolanda Renee. Renee Woodridge on Facebook says everything that looks good isn't always good for you. Yep, that's true too. Everything.
Yeah,
Ain't
that's
that the
true.
truth? Ain't that the truth? DHP on YouTube says, I love the way Stephen Hill loves his wife. Yes,
I
we all do.
appreciate
You are with the
I
group. You are with the group.
I do as well.
But you
I
know
am
what? We also, on the other side of that, we love the way that Shantae loves Stephen Hill.
yes, I do as well. I do as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I've had, if I could be honest, I've had some friends who have hated on the way that I love my wife, that I do it so loudly. I've legitimately had friends like, don't you think you're doing too much? I'm like, I waited a long time for this. I'm dead. I'm dead serious, and I'm
Interesting.
stunned by that. They're usually single friends who wish they had the same thing.
Yeah.
Candidly, so I understand it, and I don't fault them. I understand where it comes from. It's not
Well,
from
that's
malicious
very
places.
nice of you because it
Yeah.
it can kind of put a crink or a crimp in your relationship, a chink in
Did
the
I mention?
armor
Did I
there.
mention? Did I mention that I'm married to Shantae Moore? It's not putting a crimp in my
It
relationship.
does not matter because you go
I just
home a
want,
happy man.
yeah, and I want everybody else to be happy. I want everybody else to have this thing that I have. I admit it. I want
And
everybody else to
wishing
have it.
that for everyone is just an incredible gesture on your part. It really is.
Everybody. I put in my Instagram a lot of times. Like I want you all to. Everybody can have this.
Right.
Like I was post. No, I was right. Just pre-60 when I got it, but it happened, and I was pre-60.
So did she have a brother?
No, no.
Daniel Murphy on Facebook said, believe it or not, my big sis told me I wouldn't get married until after I'm 25 years old. So after 25, I seriously look at my dates as a soulmate. I met mine 7/24. I'm thinking that's 1979 at age 27. I'm thinking that's 1970. Yeah, because 2979, you have a view into the future that is unlike anything I've ever seen. But good for your sister. And sometimes we need to have those conversations. Honey Hush on YouTube says, when did you decide that you wanted to be single? I guess when they died. That was pretty much when I decided that I might be single for a while
Wait.
longer.
So almost 30 years ago?
Yeah, but I was
I'm going to
open.
go with yes.
I was open, but I pretty much, well, I, if I meet someone, I meet someone. That's good. But if not, I'm okay.
Has there been anybody close in the last 30 years?
Not
Anybody in
close
the
enough.
consideration set? Not
No,
everything is
no, no,
consideration
not
set.
no,
In 30 years.
no.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know, because I think in my mind I was like, if it, I just was very content with being here,
Where? I'm sorry.
here,
Where's here?
here,
Where's
as
here?
opposed to
You know,
here.
I'm staying and listen until Yolanda tells us to move on. So where exactly is
Well,
where exactly is here?
I'm afraid I have to tell us that the time is up.
Oh, no, 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 no.
No, she just
I
sent
bet
me.
Yolanda's
She just
saying
sent
keep
me.
going.
She said, "Look at the time."
Yolanda, work with me. Don't work against me. Yo, do you understand? This is Yolanda, work with me.
Stephen Hill.
All
This
right.
is a roundtable discussion.
Let's move on to frivolity.
Okay. Let's move on to trending. So did you guys have? It looked like you guys had a great birthday for Shantae on
We did.
social
We had
media.
three other couples here with us we're in Cabo in Mexico, and went and watched sunrises and sunsets and had great. The real thing was like my wife was like, I want great food and sun. Right. And so the sun is right there. So we didn't have to leave here often. And then we'd go to different places and get great food. And a few things I love, as you know, more than hanging out with friends,
Right.
and having a great time all together. And so we did that for her birthday.
Right. That's nice. That's very nice. Did you sing to her?
I want to keep her, so no.
Okay, fair enough. And does she have any upcoming singing dates?
May 20. Oh, I think May 24th in Birchmere is already sold out.
Wow.
There
Nice.
may be another opportunity. And no, the other ones are private gigs. No, I think we're good. We're good for a minute.
Okay. So maybe more.
January was a lot. January was a lot for my baby.
Yeah. I bet it was.
She was amazing.
Slow your roll, Chief. Okay. Stephen Hill, as you mentioned earlier, we had a loss of a just an incredible soul. Hydea Broadbent was an HIV/AIDS activist who gained media attention for being part of America's first generation of children born HIV positive in the 1980s. She died this week, and she was 39 years of age. Her father, Lauren Broadbent, announced her death on Facebook early today, and he did not give a cause of death. He said, but he did say with great sadness, I must inform you all that our beloved friend, mentor, and daughter, Hydea, passed away after living with AIDS since birth. Despite facing numerous challenges throughout her life, Hydea remained determined to spread hope and positivity through education around HIV/AIDS. As an infant, Hydea was abandoned at the University Medical Center of Southern Nevada in Las Vegas and later adopted by Lauren and Patricia Broadbent. It was presumed that she was born with HIV, but she was not diagnosed with it until the age of 3. She initially went along with her mom, who was a social worker. She began talking publicly about living with HIV and trying to reduce the stigma surrounding the virus at the time. And she had been that she had, especially talking about the children that had been diagnosed with it. And by age 6, she began to speak out too, eventually taking the helm, and she became a fixture in the HIV/AIDS advocacy before medications became available that could make living with HIV, the virus that causes AIDS, a more manageable chronic illness. A lot of people, a lot of children came to know her when she appeared on Nickelodeon about HIV and AIDS, and that was a special she appeared on with Magic Johnson, who was just coming to terms with his own public acknowledgement of HIV. And when it was her turn to talk, she began to cry, pleading, I just want people to know that we're just normal people. And Magic took the little girl and hugged her and consoled her and said, you don't have to cry because we are normal people. We are. And years later, he said that was a turning point in his life.
Yeah. Look, she was an inspiration to so many different people. She was
Right.
supposed to. They kept telling her her family, if she lives till 6, you'll be lucky. And
Yeah.
she passed at 39, and during that time, through Oprah, we got to work with her at BET when we're doing a few campaigns, and just always positive and inspirational about what was happening in her life. She had a life fully lived. It is so unfortunate that she is no longer with us. But again, I was talking earlier about a death that's inspirational. Like, let's all have the strength of Idea Broadbent.
Yeah, yeah. Live like Idea, and be that positive fixture, that the poster woman, child, and human being for this awful scourge, but just an incredible human. I remember just such a beautiful soul, and we should all strive to be that kind of soul in whatever area that we want to make a difference. And she had some difficulties for sure. She shared with people that she had been in some dark places and suffered from depression and things like that. And I only wish that she could feel the love and admiration that people had for her. She really was an incredible human being. Stephen Hill, you got a big
I love
election.
Karen Vaughn from YouTube says, and it's true. I followed her on IG, and she was always dancing.
Yes.
Right, she was always
Yep.
dancing.
Yep.
So
Yep. Absolutely.
great to see that.
Yep. Always dancing. That's right. You got a big election coming up in California. Are you prepared to make a selection in the jungle election for the U.S.
No,
Senate?
not even a little bit. But you should tell me what it is so it can be.
Okay, so there are three Democrats that are running for the U.S. Senate nomination for the Democrats.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. No, probably not. No, keep going. Never mind. My bad. My lack of knowledge is showing. My lack of knowledge is way out there.
But your humor is still top notch. Barbara Lee, a Black woman, maybe personally, my hope to bring another Black woman to the United States Senate. Katie Porter, who is an avowed liberal in the United States Congress. And the third congressperson is Adam Schiff, who has made his name in a number of ways, including the impeachment of Donald Trump. And for people who are baseball fans, the lone Republican in the race is Steve Garvey. I didn't know he was still alive.
Really? Pitcher Steve Garvey?
Yes. Steve Garvey looking like Clark Kent in AI. They had their third and final televised debate last night for the U.S. Senate primary. California voters have 2 more weeks to turn in their ballots. The top 4 candidates are vying to become California's next senator. Participated to sway the undecided debate watchers before the March 5th primary. Keep that in mind, Steve. You have until March 5th. So they stress for months the importance of reaching Latino voters, and who are the biggest racial and ethnic group in California, and yet the least likely to vote. So they're doing everything they can. Lee, Porter, and Schiff have participated in forums targeting Latino voters, including one on immigration issues, another that was hosted by the Latino Community Foundation and Spanish language broadcast network Univision, and Steve Garvey declined to attend. Recent polling and when he did talk about immigration issues, it was about the border, as you might expect, a Republican safeguard that they return to time and time again. The California election.
The winner is Adam Schiff, as he's had better marketing.
Well, true, but you pick the top 2. That's why they call it the jungle. They just throw everybody in, Democrats and Republicans, and it looks like it's going to be Schiff and Garvey, leaving the 2 women out.
Yeah, Schiff's going to win. Well,
I think he is too, because California is mostly a Democratic state.
Yeah, but Steve Garvey is a really revered.
He's a big hero.
Baseball player.
Yeah.
He's a big baseball player, like Donald Trump is a big business guy.
Shoe guy. A sneakerhead.
There's a thing there. So
Yeah, not so much sneaker. Okay.
It was a Chris Rock movie. Was it Head of State? Was that the one where said, "Go with the name you know"?
Right.
Go
Right.
with the
Yeah.
name you know.
And that's what a lot of people will do because there are a lot of Republicans who are still angry with Adam Schiff about the treatment of Donald Trump in the United States Congress. And I just wish that Congresswoman Lee had been able to grab on to the money in order to
Mm-hmm.
have a viable campaign, as well as to have people to back her that she needed in order to be a part of the jungle and to be a part of the top two vote getters. They can pick any candidate regardless of party, and as I said, the top two will then move on to the general election in
All right.
November.
It's kind of like The Bachelor. Anyhow, keep going.
In this case, it will be, I guess. Donald Trump said in a town hall Tuesday that at least 6 names are on his short list for vice president. Do you care or shall I keep moving?
Yes, I would like to know.
One of them is Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
Ugh.
This was in a town hall meeting with Fox News host Laura Ingraham, and the audience was asked who they thought should be the vice president. She listed some of their picks: Vivek Ramaswamy, that little gnat kid that you just wanted
Mm-hmm.
to, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, who's one of them, DeSantis, Congressman Byron Donalds, also the other black guy. That is always vying for Donald Trump's attention, Congressman from Florida, and former Hawaii Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, who ran for the Democratic nomination. And when it appeared that she really wasn't one of them, she quit the party and became an independent. And South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem. And he said that they are all on his list. He added that honestly, all these people are good. They're all good. They're all solid. One name that was not mentioned, and she has been really toadying up to him, is Elise Stefanik, the Republican Congresswoman from New York, not on the names, also being floated as a potential running mate. And she told reporters when she was out campaigning for Trump in New Hampshire that she would be honored to serve in a Trump administration, if only they'd mentioned her. DeSantis said that he would not consider being Donald Trump's running mate, revealing that the other prospects are probably better choices in there. And he said, people mentioning me as a potential vice president, I'm not doing that, is what he said. He wants to be president or nothing at all. And he's going to be nothing at all because he's going to go back to 2 years. He can't run for reelection for governor. And then he'll just wait for 2028.
So, any chance that Nikki Haley will run independent?
I don't think so. Unless the money is so good to stay to keep her in the race.
Man, I would spend all my Democratic money on having Nikki Haley run as a third party.
Really?
I really would. I would spend all of my Democratic money. I would spend none of it on Biden, and I would spend all of it on Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley running as an independent, to me, is the only possibility of Trump losing this election. Yeah, I said it. The only way Trump loses this election is if Nikki Haley runs as an independent. If it's just straight up Trump Biden's not winning this. It hurt. I hate it when the truth is not what I want it to be.
Right.
And the truth is just not what we want it to be.
The truth is not what we want or what we want.
Not what we want it to be.
Yeah.
I've said this before. Biden has no fans. There's no people who are like, I love Biden. Biden's killing.
Yeah.
Right. They're like,
this is 2024.
There's a meme. I think there's a meme of like Rihanna throwing money at my face. I don't know if you've ever seen this. There's a meme of Rihanna throwing money in my face for one of the BET Awards. And usually that comes out when, oh, this is like me throwing my vote at Biden. Like, yeah, I don't want to, but bam. Right? Trump has fans. Trump is going to continue to build a fan base, not just voters. These are two different things. Right. A fan base. So I truly believe the only way that Biden has a chance is Nikki Haley runs as an independent, and I would throw all of my Democratic money behind
and
that.
So what do you think about a Haley Cheney party ticket? Not party, but a ticket.
I think that's a little tougher. You got to find would have to find a VP who is a little who is
less testosterone.
They got to be more Trumpish. Like she needs to find a Trumpish VP, not a
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Keep my daughter's name out of your throat.
Your throat.
Yeah. She was.
So anyhow, that's a relief. And I know Tish Robinson agrees with me from Facebook, but Delara Washington disagrees with me. So.
Oh, interesting. Well, that's going to be a discussion that's going to go on for a while, and certainly here for the next several months.
Yeah, can't wait to see what logic comes out ahead.
Have you ever been on a plane where they had to subdue someone and duct tape them to the floor or to their seat until they were able to land?
You mean besides that person being myself?
Yes. This happened this morning. On a flight from Newark to California. They had to stop in Chicago and land because of a bomb threat. Apparently, they had to be diverted to Chicago. A United flight with a couple of hundred people on board. They confirmed the passengers were evacuated. The plane was being searched, and they found some sort of bag or package. But they found a note in the bathroom stating the plane would blow up. And the bomb sniffing canines found a suspicious bag. A robot was deployed to move it away. And they questioned the passenger who checked that bag. But there was apparently a bomb scare. And I also heard of another situation where a man had to be strapped to his, which was I was referring to, had to be strapped to his seat and with the tape and all that kind of stuff because he was trying to open up the emergency exit. And the guys on the plane, the passengers, subdued him, and the flight attendants kind of threw the tape and they wrapped him up and took him off the plane.
Do we know if it was it really a bomb though?
No, they said it's suspicious, but it had have a particular scent that the dogs were able to detect, and but they said there's no indication that this was an imminent threat to public safety.
It was just a computer and a massager.
Well, then I would have been taken off a long time ago. Let's move to entertainment, shall we? And your girl Beyonce has made history once again.
She has.
The first Black woman atop the Hot Country Songs chart made her debut on Billboard's streaming, airplay, and sales-based Hot Country Songs chart with her first two entries, Texas Hold'em at number 1 and 16 Carriages at number 9.
Fantastic.
Prior to this,
she's gonna test so many things with this. But I'm sorry, keep going.
No, go ahead.
No, I love that she's doing this. It's true to who she is. But it's gonna test so many boundaries as she always does. No one saw it coming that she was gonna test this boundary. But I would like to believe the country community, which is insular, will open up to have Beyonce come in. And it looks like that's happening.
I think they don't have a choice. I think they are insular, but I don't think they have a choice at this stage because their reputation is such that, you got Dolly, who is open and loving everyone. And then you got some people whose necks are really burnished. And so I think that they are going to really kind of open up and do this, as opposed
when that Beyonce Taylor Swift duet comes out.
Okay, you ready?
I'm just saying.
I think you got something. Before Texas Hold'em, no Black woman or female known to be biracial had previously topped the Hot Country Songs. And this follows, and this is a year of Black women. This follows Tracy Chapman having become the first Black woman to solely write a country song for airplay, country airplay number 1 as Luke Combs' cover song for Fast Car. How cool is that?
It's all of the cool. Here's what I will say. I got to do a little work with the country community. In the production of the ACM Awards a couple of years ago. And I have to give it up, especially for the Academy of Country Music, who was very, very specific about wanting to make sure that they open their doors to diverse voices. Damon Whiteside, who runs the Academy of Country Music, and his crew.
A white guy named Damon?
A white guy named Damon. A white guy named Damon.
Okay.
So I have to, from inside, I got to see how important it was to them and to Amazon, who aired it, to make sure that there was diverse representation in country.
Right.
I was surprised, pleasantly surprised. And I got to admit, I was like, you better bring black people in the country. They're like, yes, we want it as well. I was like, all right, I can put my little Malcolm X kufi over here. Cool. So yeah, so there are people in the country community who are embracing this, who are advocating for it, and it's a great point that Beyonce's coming in.
Getting in there, yeah.
Yep.
Really great. I am so happy to have the opportunity to spend time and talk with you today. I thank you, Myra J.
Thank you.
We look forward to you coming back. But this was a lot of fun today. And so, what are you going to do for the rest of the day?
I'm going to jump into that pool. I'm going to jump in that pool. I'm going to continue. I'm going to go to the movie room and watch Griselda, which is my new favorite.
Oh, your series. Okay.
I'm watching Griselda. Yes, Sofia Vergara, and it's a true story, so it's kind of crazy. I can't watch any more of the morning show because that's something Shantae and I are watching together.
Oh, wait, sure.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna have dinner here, and then go home to my baby tomorrow.
You know what I'm revisiting?
What's that?
West Wing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Some of the best. Aaron Sorkin is one of my favorite writers of all time. So
it's positively poetic sometimes, and prescient too.
Yes, it is. It is. There's a run on there where someone talks about how it's the Bible is against gays, right? And then Martin, what's his name? I'm sorry, now
Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen, as the president, goes into a run and says all these other things that are in the Bible.
Yes, he does it against the conservative talk radio host.
He does it,
yes.
and it's just brilliant. So yeah, now you got me. Now I'm going to do that as well tonight.
Yeah, it's really good. It's good stuff. So thank you, my friend. I'm going to close out with the jewel. True love involves a selfless act of giving. Inhale love. Exhale selfishness. And now take your buds out and go jump in the pool.
I shall. Don't forget, there's a solar eclipse, total solar eclipse happening in the United States of America, going through Dallas on April 8th.
Yeah.
On April 8th, it goes through Dallas, it goes through parts of Ohio, goes through Indiana. I forget all the places, but it's the last chance to see a total eclipse in the United States. Candidly, probably for the rest of y'all's lives.
Yeah, our lifetime.
So do it.
I just came across
Sybil and I did this back in 2017, and it was awesome.
August 20th, 2017.
That's the correct answer.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Love you. And
love you too. Love you too.
Take them out. Go. We want to see you do the.
Oh no.
That it's not a fake background.
I told you I have nothing on underneath the shirt, so we're not going to do it.
Okay.
Can't be any more honest than that.
You can't. All right, everyone. Take care. Aloha.